listening to 95.7 The Spin, and I am here with Foxes Have Holes from Paducah, Kentucky.
Hello again.
Yeah.
So I gotta know, what is the music scene like in Paducah?
Well, we had a long discussion about that on the way up here.
It's been on a long road.
It has.
Lots of winding paths.
We've seen it. We sure have seen it evolve over the
Yeah.
past 10, 12 years now, almost since we were in high school and I was playing. For the most part, everybody's supportive. I think you've got like a nice group of different styles in Paducah. And I know a lot of bands that hit some bigger cities sometimes, and they'll still stop in Paducah just because, you know, there's a couple venues there. I know Paducah Beer Works is one of them, and they really take care of their artists.
Yeah, there's lots of people coming in from Nashville and Carbondale.
St. Louis, yeah. We're smack dab between St. Louis and Nashville, just about. Usually, if you're going out of town or something like that, you're going to one of those two.
Yeah. So it can be kind of a haven for touring musicians because you can get a good amount of draw from some local bands usually. And
you stop and make your gas money if you're on tour. You know, it's a nice little thing going on there.
Yeah.
So we're pretty accepting.
Yeah. There's a lot of bars, which has its pluses and minuses. You know, it's hard to bring new people in and get kids in and everything, but bars pay well.
Right.
You know, and so there's a give and take to it. But
in previous years, it was like music halls and more things like that, more all ages shows. Now it's more focused towards the older crowds. There's lots of
there is.
Yeah.
And like when we first started, it was a whole lot of. To us, it was everybody either played like what we would call street punk, like really almost true punk, I guess other people would say, just really fast, really sloppy, all about energy and having a good time. And then at the time, this was the core chapters, your grindcores and your hardcores and your
crabcores
and crabcore. So we kind of fit in the middle, and we'd get these bills with punk bands, and we'd do pretty well on them, like really super punk bands. But we're more like pop punk, I guess, in a way. Then we get on some bills. We actually someone barely made it out alive. Like some of those crazy metal shows.
Yeah,
those guys were pretty intense, and we had 6 strings on our guitars. They all had 7 or 8. But we were still perceived pretty well. You know, I mean,
you can hear the energy at least.
Yeah, I mean. We're kind of a class of our own down there, but we're still pretty much welcomed by just about everybody in the community, I think.
You're enough to it.
So.
So with all of those great venues and stuff, how often do you guys play and where?
Life has gotten in the way this past year, but for a while it was about twice a month we would play.
Yeah, I mean after Foxes 2 and you came in, we worked really, really hard and were playing constantly for a while. And we kind of got burnt out on it. And we kind of had to take a break. And Nolan and I started our own little side projects. Jacob joined a band to play with. So we've all been kind of like trying to do some other things while we're trying to get the focus back on shows with Foxes and stuff. So it's been just about a year since our last performance, hasn't it?
It had. We went on a tour last year. We went on a big tour, and when we came back, and everybody was changing. There were some things in all of our personal lives that were coming up. But we had already started working on a 3rd album. We got a couple songs done, and then we'd kind of taken our break. And like Zach said, we kind of did our own thing. But in the back of our heads, we were always like, oh, we're gonna get the Foxes machine running again. And
it runs as in the back of our minds constantly.
Oh
when we're doing other stuff.
That sweet, blissful, crippling anxiety that goes along with being an artist sometimes. But Foxes, it really is special to us. It's it's in a league of its own. So it's good to be back and doing some things. And now we're actually about halfway done with our 3rd album. And we're still working on it.
You asked me not to drag you,
you
say album. He says it every time.
Nolan,
he's been making music for nigh on over a decade, and he can't get it into it's album, not album.
I throw that L in there, and Nolan just.
I will never not drag you for that.
Oh, and I love you for it, bro.
Can we say the S word, or is that committing too much for you at this point?
Oh, which S word? Huh?
Oh, singles?
Single?
We
yeah.
We got a couple of songs I think we picked out from our 3rd record that we're going to drop a little bit early, hopefully around Christmas time, as some early single releases. So hopefully we can get back up here and show you guys those. Actually, maybe an exclusive early or something in a couple months.
Absolutely, I would love that.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, for all those at home, thank you for bearing with us. I know we're on a very we're doing like some special versions, some stripped and
Yeah.
strummed versions of these songs today.
Yeah. You will get catfished if you go to the album expecting what you hear today.
Quite like this, yeah.
This is the core, the
Or
innards.
what you hear when we play live. It's all three different: the acoustic, the album, the live show. Like we just always sound different.
Hey, sometimes we're a trio, and we've been a 4-piece before, and then last year we toured as a 5-piece, and now we got 3 guitars, so we ended up sounding way more rocky than expected.
Yeah.
Like, especially on the second record, some of those songs just really hit, and some people would probably call it just straight up rock music, rather than alternative on a few of them. But we can be calm, pretty as well. So that's what we're doing here today.
All right, so we've got Beekeeper. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Beekeeper is my big single of the record. I can't tell you how many mixes I sent to our mastering guy for Beekeeper, because I just wanted to get it as perfect as I could, with our DIY, tracking and mixing of it. But it's a really good feel-good single. It's a little long for a radio single.
Yeah, they did chop it a little.
Cut our trumpet breakout, but it means a lot to me. Funny story about Beekeeper. We were hashtagging. On Instagrams you do the hashtags and like this stuff. We'd hashtag Beekeeper, and we get these legit beekeepers, like just crazy rabid fans and honey collectors and stuff.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Oh, these Foxes guys."
Yeah, thanks for the shout out.
So this is a song for the bees. Song for those, the one who controls the bees, right? The one who guides the bees safely to their process from harm. Yeah, keeps the guardian of the bees, keeps the bees from harm. The song goes out to them.
All right. So this is Beekeeper.
This is Beekeeper. All right. Take this season to enjoy the leaves, the quiet things. It's gradual that I leave a part of it in everything. Yeah, and it's dangerous to still feel this way at our age, man, I hope so. I start out to die, that's the importance of keeping past open to get yourself back. Optional thought that you had, it was a way of getting some of that back. Give me back what I sold to stay in the game. It takes all our time. I used it to cope, and now the pipers come home. It takes all our time away. Idle hands are the devil's tools. It uses them to craft impulse buy. Yeah, and they are in stock around the clock, every year, every day, every night. Well, unpacking boxes early mornings, all the Christmases and Halloweens. And because of convenience, I ignored what felt the best for me. And everything, it's awfully close to me. Well, I think it's time for me to go. Yeah, I can't, 'cause it's time for me to leave instead. Because fate stalls, it drags us on, it takes all our time away. Yeah, fate stalls, it drags us on, it takes all our time away.
All right, that was Beekeeper by Foxes Have Holes, and stay tuned for more from them.